All right. So, Amanda, do you feel complete?
I do, thank you.
Very good. Anna, all yours.
Yes. Ignore what a man desires, and you ignore the very source of his power. Walter Lippmann. I have a question. Why though?
What? Why?
Why ignoring what a man desires would ignore the source of his power?
Well, what, in your opinion, what is the greatest power? Like if you have a power of powers, if, you know, I have a magic wand and abracadabra, what do you want, Anna?
Freedom.
Freedom, the power of freedom.
Yes.
So ignore that Anna desires freedom, and you will ignore the very source of Anna's power. Because that desire for freedom will ignite your coming into freedom. And as such, it is the source of the power of freedom.
Okay, but isn't the not desiring part that needs to be eliminated in order to have freedom?
Yes, but how are you going to eliminate something you never had? Do you not need to have it in order to eliminate it?
That is true.
That's it. Now, do you see the answer clearly, Anna?
A little better. I'm still a little bit not full on it, but I will come to it.
Well, another
also,
way to go for it, Michael.
Yeah,
please.
I mean, if you add the word core desire here, if you ignore man's core desires, and the core desire, as we distinguished earlier, is a desire that we will do anything for, and it's going to be something like freedom versus a parking space. I'm not going to desire a parking space.
Yeah.
And have that be the same class of a core desire.
Well, you know, I would say, let's say I see things a little bit differently here. Let's say that I desire alcohol. That would not be in par with freedom. You know, it would seem like the desire for alcohol is a sure way to get me trapped. However, there's a place in my desire for alcohol where I see that that desire for alcohol is what got me to be free of alcohol. So granted, there's a difference between freedom and freedom from alcohol. I get this, do you? The difference between the two. In other words, you may be sober but not be free. But nevertheless, the desire for alcohol is what got you sober.
How?
How? Because
Yeah.
it made you sick. There's a place where you got tired to be tired, sick to be sick.
Yes.
That's how. There's a part where you surrendered. And Michael, you were going to say something.
Yeah,
please.
Susie has a question.
Yeah, Susie. Thank you.
More like a point of clarity. Would it be fair to say that the core desires that we're cultivate or that we're born with into this life is what pulls us through our humanity to become the person or the being that we were always meant to be?
Hallelujah. Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
exactly. Okay.
Okay.
So please continue, and when you're ready
Yes.
for it.
Accepting that the force of desire is what incited me to come out of the big nothing is life-changing. It opens me to want to know the truth, starting with the Buddha's Four Noble Truths. Life is suffering. The cause of suffering is clinging to a desire. Give up desire and you'll end suffering. Here's the path to the end.
So let's stop here.
Okay.
Accepting that the force of desire is what shifted you out of being nothing, no one, nobody, nowhere, no time, blah, blah, is life-changing.
Yes.
Okay? And ultimately, it will open us to want to know the truth. What is it that I truly desire? What is this game? And speaking of truth, I don't think we've done any better than the Four Noble Truths of the Buddha. Okay? Life is suffering. I'm sure you can agree to that.
Yes.
The cause of suffering is clinging to desire. Sure you can agree to that too.
Yes.
Now the third one is a little bit more dangerous. Give up desire and you'll end up suffering. So do you remember when Susie was doing her process, her exercise, and the reason why Susie can't have her home is because of mommy that will either be pleased or displeased by her success?
Okay.
So who would you be if you didn't cling to what your mother and your father want for you?
I don't know.
You would then go back to being no one, nobody, nothing, etc. I don't know. Never
Maybe,
met
yeah.
that person, right?
Yes.
You would be changed.
Yes.
Very good. So that's the path to the end. To inquire on that relationship with your biology, which you keep on projecting unconsciously onto your universe. Okay?
Yes.
So if you would continue with the golden sentences.
What if the path to the end was traced by the very desire which I forbid and thus resist?
Okay, let's stop here. What is the very desire that you forbid and resist? What do you want, which you have not manifested?
Well, I've spoken of freedom, yeah.
Yeah, and be more specific. Like, if I recall, when we last were together, you were speaking of the freedom you would derive from citizenship.
Correct, yes.
Okay, so that's one level of freedom. The other way around is, where are you a slave? You want freedom. Is it freedom from alcohol? Is it freedom from not being a citizen? Is it freedom or from being a citizen? What are you a slave to if you wanted to work on something else than citizenship?
Mm. something else other than citizenship is that I need to keep going to school in order to maintain my citizenship. So I have to be at school full time.
So do you have to, or do you want to?
If I want to maintain my status and be considered legal, then I have to go to
Okay.
school.
So what you're saying is, I want to be a citizen. And for me, at this moment of my consciousness, the only way that I can continue being a citizen is by going to school.
Yes.
Okay. So the very desire which you forbid and resist is citizenship, becoming an American citizen.
Okay.
Okay. Because my sense is that if it's going to take your going to school, you're going to do that. Reluctantly, maybe, but you're going to do that.
I'm gonna
Yes.
do what? I'm sorry.
You're going to go to school.
Well, yes, I've always loved school, but sometimes enough is enough. You can't go to school constantly for your entire life.
Exactly. So back to the desire which you forget and resist, which is citizenship. What if that resistance allowed you to never surrender?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to look at the second question. What desire and our project do I feel helpless to manifest? You answered that.
Yes.
But who, this desire for citizenship, do you have a hard time to admit it to your mother and or your father?
I have admitted it to them.
Okay. And what was the response?
The response was to give myself some time and to see if the situation is going to change, and if not, then surrender.
Okay. So give yourself some time to become a citizen.
Yes.
And if after some time that hasn't happened, come back home.
Yes.
Okay. So in your mind and in your parents' mind, surrendering means I come back home.
Yes.
Okay. What if there was another way to look at surrender in that situation?
Which way?
Well, that's what we're looking at.
Okay.
In my listening of you, surrendering means I give up my desire and I never wanted it, and I'm going to be frustrated for the rest of my life because I never could pull that off. I gave it a fair chance. I studied for a number of years, and there was a moment where becoming a student was just too much. So the question I'm asking you is, what difference do you make between surrender and resignation or giving up? Is there a difference?
No, I don't think so.
So in your mind, giving up and resignating yourself is the same as surrendering.
Well, surrendering the desire to what is keeping me in the same place.
Very good. So now what I'm hearing you say is, I desire to be stuck.
Yes.
And that's what I need to surrender.
Yes.
Excellent. So taking a completely different area in your life, where is it that you find yourself stuck? And I'm not talking of citizenship here. Look at maybe health-wise, maybe money-wise, maybe relationship-wise. Is there a place where you're stuck?
I can say that perhaps I feel stuck on which path to take in life, like professionally, or where can I find that I'm mostly inclined. I can do a lot of things. I can do many things, and I've got several degrees, and I've done some work in each one of them. And I still haven't found that spark that I would like to pursue.
Okay. So baby steps, Anna. Baby steps. So you speak of big realization, freedom, professional fulfillment. And what I'm asking you is there a habit that keeps you stuck? Like, for example, drinking coffee. And I'm not saying you shouldn't drink coffee. I'm asking you something small where you keep yourself stuck.
Binge eating.
Okay, so work with that. Because binge eating is what keeps you from the big picture. That's what you use to fail yourself.
Okay.
If you remove that, okay, and we can talk about that one-on-one in a session. If you find a way to stop binge eating, then your focus is going to open very wide. And
Okay.
that which you're looking for, the professional success, will come because of an open focus. And in turn, that will be followed by citizenship. Right now, you're controlling the 3D world by binge eating. And each time you binge eat, you're like telling your spirit, I don't really want to be free. I just want to be attached to food. That's all I want for the rest of my life.
Okay.
So keep on not giving me a citizenship. Keep on not showing me what my professional path is. Do you get it?
Yes,
Is that helpful?
it is.
Super. So I trust that each of you have done a similar work. Again, get with either Michael or myself, and we can deepen that. Okay.